Thank you. That was Song Without Words by Felix Mendelssohn, performed by Bienvenido Yangco. Welcome, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Frances Lorenz, for those of you who are watching out in the outer space or wherever you are. But we welcome those who are here, and we're so glad you joined us today. So I want to introduce our musicians. Of course, you just heard Bienvenido Yanco and Terry O'Hara on piano, and our soloist is Peter Kirkland today. So we're delighted to welcome them. And on platform with me is Bev Holland, our practitioner for the day, and our assistant staff minister is Matthew Breck. He'll be giving meditation a little later this morning. So we're going to start with an opening song called Mama Said by Lucas Graham.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. I was walking the other day, everything was going fine. I met a little girl named Billie Jean, and then I almost lost my mind. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. My eyes are wide open, but all that I can see is chapel bells are calling for everyone but me. Don't you worry, 'cause Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. And then she said someone will look at me like I'm looking at you. Then one day I might find I don't want it any old way, said. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said. Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this, my mama said.
Wow. So announcements, a big announcement is our Hootenanny concert and auction coming up live streamed on YouTube on May 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. So we want you to get a ticket. As soon as you get well, actually not as soon as you get a ticket, because there's ticket holders out there, but by the end of this week we will get you all the coordinates to the auction site where you can start bidding. On Sunday afternoon, we'll have it up and running, and the bidding will be open from Monday through Saturday night at 7:30. So we hope you just tune in and to the auction site and bid. We have some wonderful items, all different kinds of experiential packages. There's an intuitive art class with art supplies that was donated by one of our board members. The board has created an incredible package where you get picked up by a town car, taken to the Bluefin out on Point Ruston, and then you get to go to a movie all in one evening experience. There's many, many things to look at, including tenting equipment if you're a camper. There's 4 or 5 packages of tenting equipment, and I see interest out there. So check us out. Check it out. And actually, next Sunday you can come here and view the items that are downstairs. So there's a view if you want to really guarantee that the item's really there. You can see it in person. So that's happening. The concert itself, Stephen Plummer, who grew up with hootenanny music, and Steve and Christy Nebel and Terry and Christina are performing songs from Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan, Brenda Lee, Easy Riders, Pete Seeger. It's all folk music. It's really fun. I've seen the list of songs, and I tell you, you won't want to miss this concert. So get your admission ticket by going to csltacoma.org, our website. It's only $25. And so anyway, that's also we have Bigfoot on the loose, and there's a mystery about his whereabouts in Tacoma, and the person who solves all the clues will get a prize. So it's a fun opportunity. So there are classes coming up. We urge you to look at the website for upcoming classes and register. There's several in June. We also are going to have the author of Callings, Greg Lavoie, on. He's going to be broadcast here on June 6th, and there's a workshop in the afternoon. And if you love and appreciate his book like I do, you won't want to miss that opportunity either. And that'll be up on our website this coming week. And then a number of Earth-type experiences. Matthew Fox wrote a book called The Order of the Sacred Earth that the other Matthew, Reverend Matthew Breck, will be teaching a book study in June, starting on Monday night, is it? Yeah, I think it's Monday night, June 7th, 4 Mondays in June, and then there's a sustainability workshop later in the month. So just check out the website and learn what's ahead in the month of June. So I think those are the announcements. So we'll move into our opening prayer by Beverly Holland, followed by a meditation from Matthew.
Good morning. I invite you to close your outer eyes with me and just know the truth. I recognize that today is a beautiful day inside and out. Whether or not it rains, whether or not it shines, it is a beautiful day. Because any day where mothers exist is a beautiful day. And I am just so grateful for mothers. I'm grateful for my own mother, who taught me so much and even led me indirectly to the science of mind. I'm also grateful for all those mothers who taught us whatever they needed to teach. It might have been what we needed to learn, or it might have been what they needed to learn as well. And so I'm grateful for this day when we gather together to honor mothers and also to honor that beauty within ourselves, because each and every one of us is created by the divine, and we live in, as, and through the divine always. And so I'm so grateful for this. I'm grateful for this time that we have together. And I say thank you, God. And so it is.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to join me in meditation. And I'd like to invite you to begin by placing your feet flat on the floor, feeling the earth beneath your feet. And just allow yourself to close your outer eyes and to settle in for a few minutes. Let's begin by noticing our breath this morning. Just notice how the breath brings stillness. It brings presence. It's the very thing that infuses us with life. Just recognizing the flow of the breath. That beautiful, consistent flow. And once again, let's recognize that our breath is the same breath as the entire universe. And as we settle in, let's bring the idea of motherhood into our minds this morning. I'd like to invite you to recognize that idea in your mind this morning, and to recognize somebody who was either your mother or somebody else who guided you in that way in your life. And this morning I'd like to invite you to hold them in the light of love. Just breathing and seeing that beautiful figure poured over with the light of love. Whomever that is for you. And now I'd like to invite you to be in gratitude and just say thank you. Allowing your eyes to meet hers and say thank you. And now let's bring this out to the idea of the earth being the mother of everything here, and seeing our beautiful planet from space. And let's see Mother Earth poured over with that same beautiful white light, that light of love, that light of peace, the light of gratitude for everything that she does for us. Consistently, beautifully, and perfectly. So I invite you to bring this consciousness of the mother in your own life, as well as the consciousness of the mother that supports all of life. And bring this vibration into your heart space this morning and breathe into it. And just allow it to begin resonating within you. And let's step forward in that consciousness of love and gratitude. And as we take this deep breath together, we return to the room, feeling our feet placed on the ground of Mother Earth. And we open our eyes when we're ready. And we look around the room, and we see that beautiful consciousness of light pouring over everybody. And so it is.
am down and oh my soul so weary. When troubles come, my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. You raise me up. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to be more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
So it's time to raise the mothers up this morning. I need some assistance with the roses, but I'm going to do 3 readings first. And the first is a prayer for mothers. Where would we be without our mothers' love? Bless our mothers with wisdom to teach and guide their children in a way that will help them follow you and to become men and women who will be pleasing in your sight. Give all mothers the patience to deal with the differences of their job, and most of all, give them a special blessing as they care so lovingly for the gifts that they have shown and have the honor of giving. And then this is from Ritual Well. It's about a Mother's Day poem for reclaiming a difficult childhood. Does our essence carry our generation? Does a mother preside over a child's soul? Hers was a motherhood of laughter and photo albums. Yours was a childhood in which children were not to be heard or seen. Hers was a motherhood of fierce love against all odds. Yours was a childhood in which you were the odd one out. Hers was a motherhood of selflessness and sacrifice. Yours was a childhood in which to have a self was the ultimate betrayal. For years you've been telling yourself that yours is hers, that you and her are inescapably bound in the same glad tale. And yet, here you stand, open to the truth of your own existence, your one individual life in the midst of all that forced sharing. You know what's true, and anyway, she can be her, and you can be you. O source of light, grant me clarity of mind and body, to know the truth of my own soul. And then finally, a Mother's Day prayer. Thank you, Creator of us all, for my mother. Thank you that she gave me life and nurtured me all these years. She gave me faith to know God and taught me how to love and how to sacrifice for others. She taught me that it was okay to cry and that I should always tell the truth. Bless her with the graces she needs and help me to feel and practice love in your eyes today. Bless her this day with all your love. And so it is. And so at this time, I'd like to have all the mothers stand, if you would, and if Bev and Matthew could come out, or Mario, if you want to come forward. Let's give each of our mothers a beautiful rose to symbolize their love. And they have little things in them so that they'll be preserved forever and ever. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah, just take the whole thing out. And then you can pick the one you want. Oh, thank you for being you. Well, you know, Ernest Holmes was the first one yes. Oh, of course. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. All right. So, blessings upon you. Ernest Holmes wrote in The Science of Mind, Mother, Father, God. So there is that. I love that. Who would have thought that someone in 1926 would write that? So it reminds us that we have both divine feminine and divine masculine energies within us. So I am going to talk about enrolling in the master's degree program today. In our educational system, we go to grade school and high school and college, and after that you may get your 4-year degree, and you can apply to graduate school. And in graduate school, you narrow your focus and enter into a specific area of study with some rigorous courses and practicums, and that produces a master's degree after a few years. So this morning we're engaged in our own master's program, a master's program in spirituality. It's a short course of study, only 5 weeks during the month of June, meaning that you have to be here every Sunday or listening on YouTube to graduate the last Sunday of this month. But as a reminder, the program comes with the 4 levels of consciousness that we're talking about in our progress towards evolution of consciousness. So the first one is why me, or the mortal stage, which is the victim. And you all know that because you meet people every day that are victims. You know, oh, this terrible thing happened to me, and it's why me. Or then they move to the by me, which is through consciousness I can create something. I can make it happen, and that's the metaphysician consciousness. And then through me, or the mystic consciousness, the Father within me doeth the work. Or if you want to talk about the imaginal area, the imaginal, this is being in tune with the imaginal level, which will give you information that's between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. So that's the mystic level. And then the 4th level is as me, or the master consciousness. This is where Jesus was. I am one with God. And we call Jesus the master teacher because he mastered living in such a way that others were absolutely transformed by his presence. So just getting close to him, touching the hem of his garment, just being in his energy field brought about healing and transformation because he lived from that state of being of oneness. So today's our day to get fully enrolled in our own master's program. And what does it mean to enroll? Well, it means to be engaged in, to sign up for, to put our name on it, to join, to become an active participant. It's a way of thinking, being, and acting and feeling that moves us towards a focused intention. And for our purpose this month, our focused intention is to move more and more towards that state of oneness. Now, I'm very aware that each of us is on our own personal and unique journey of life, and we're each in our own personal and unique stages of our personal journey. And wherever we are, it's the perfect place to be. So Science Mind founder Ernest Holmes says in the textbook that the only place we can begin our spiritual journey is right where we are. And right where we are is the perfect place to begin. Last week we took the entrance exam. If you were here last week, it was called the LRE to help us assess where we were in the program. And LRE stood for, the L stands for life challenges. R is our where we stand in relationship to God. And E was our earth stewardship, remembering we're charged with dominion and care and nurturing of that which sustains us and gives us physical life. So wherever you are in your personal and unique journey, I invite you to enroll in and get engaged in, sign up, put your name on, and fully participate in mastering the next step for you, whatever that next step may be. So oneness would mean that we realize that a life challenge, when it comes, it's meant for us. It's not done to us. It's a very different state of mind. Oneness means, and I think I was involved in the Memorial Day flood in Austin, Texas, and it destroyed my home. But it actually broke apart a very bad marriage I was in and changed the direction of my life into ministry. It was a life-changing event. So it was not just a life challenge that was meant for me, and it wasn't just done to me. It was meant as for my good. And if you look at the law of compensation, if something's taken away, there's always something that fills it back up again. Emerson wrote about that. So everything I lost, I gained back eventually. It took a while to realize that, but that's what happened. So oneness means that our relationship with God is not with something outside of ourselves, but something which lives and moves and has its being in us at all times. And oneness also means that we're profoundly aware we have to take care of Mother Earth because she is us and we are her. So this morning we're going to enroll in the Master's program by cultivating conscious connection. And Master's level living means I incorporate into my life the practices that keep me in conscious connection to God's presence as me. Brother Lorenz called it practicing the presence. And Paul said it was praying without ceasing. It's the building of a connection that becomes more and more conscious. So in moments of remembering God's presence, in times of forgetting, and often we forget God's presence, but as we grow, the forgetting part gets more and more diminished. And that comes with the practice of mastering conscious connection. So how do we enter into this conscious connection with God? We listen and we follow. There's a teaching story in the Bible about a man to whom God spoke. And you all have heard this story, I'm sure, but his name was Jonah. And you may have heard of him because God spoke to him and he said, Jonah, I want you to cross over here and go to Nineveh. And there are some things that are going on there that aren't quite copacetic. And I want you to straighten them out because this is my assignment to you. This is what you're supposed to be doing right now. And it was something like that, or words to that effect. But the communication was very clear. The directions were very clear, and the purpose was very clear. So what did Jonah do? He got in the boat and went in the opposite direction. He ran like heck. He went exactly in the opposite direction of what the God of his being was telling him to do. Anybody ever run in the opposite direction before? Well, that's a whole practice in and of itself, being obedient. When you hear the direction and you've got to do something about it. So plan A was that God gave Jonah guidance gently and clearly. And plan B was that Jonah didn't listen to it. And so God used plan B, and the situation got a little more intense. And so that intensity, he's there on a boat headed exactly in the wrong direction with his life when a storm comes up. And we know this story, and now we see God's attention getting device. And the deal is, when God sends guidance with gentleness, it's folly to ignore it. And I've learned that, and probably a lot of you have learned that. The question I get a lot is, how do I know it's really God's guidance and not my own fear or ego or stubbornness, etc.? So the idea is listen, follow, and observe, or listen, don't follow, and observe, and you'll learn. So what happened to Jonah in this particular instance was the storms came up, it was horrible, and Jonah realizes that he's the cause of all the trouble and the turbulence happening. And so he says to the sailors of the boat he's on, just throw me overboard. And of course they do, because he's cursed. They believe he's the one that's brought the storms upon them, and they throw him overboard. He's swallowed by a whale and coughed up, and he goes back to the mission he was originally guided to do. So we may feel nudges from time to time, and they come in different ways. Sometimes they come as a yearning, or maybe they come as an uneasiness in our awareness, or maybe it just doesn't seem right to us what's happening. It can come through our conscience, that place where you just feel at peace or not, and we try to do something to get the uneasiness to go away. But to fully enroll in the master's program, we have to start listening. And I don't know how God's guidance has been coming to you, but I know it's there. In fact, I know probably some ideas are coming to you. Are you willing to listen to them? And so this conscious connection step is really important. It's a surrender. It's surrendering ourselves to this guidance that's always with us. And so in order to get our masters this month, we have to surrender to the touch of the master's hand. And you may have heard this poem before, but it bears repeating. It's called The Touch of the Master's Hand by Myra Welch. 'Twas battered and scared, and the auctioneer thought it was hardly worth his while to waste much time on the old violin. But he held it up with a smile. "What am I bid, good folks? Who'll start bidding? $1, $1, who'll make it $2, $2, who'll make it $3? $3 once, $3 twice, going for $3, but not from the room. In the back came a gray-haired man, and he came forward and he picked up the bow. And then wiping his dust from the dust from the old violin and tightening up the strings, he played a melody pure and sweet as an angel sings, and the music ceased. And the auctioneer said, 'What am I bid for this old violin?' And he held it up. $1,000. Who'll make it 2? 2,000. Who'll make it 3? 3,000 once, 3,000 twice, and going, gone." And the people cheered, but some of them cried, "We don't quite understand what changed its worth." A man said, "The touch of a master's hand." And many a man with life out of tune and battered and torn from within is auctioned cheap to a thoughtless crowd, much like the old violin. A mess of pottage, a glass of wine, a game, and he travels on. He's going once, he's going twice, he's going and almost gone. But the master comes, and the foolish crowd never can quite understand the worth of the soul, the change that's wrought by the touch of the master's hand. So our homework this week for our master's program in spirituality is to place ourselves in the master's hand by making conscious connections with that center place in us where God's wisdom and guidance are, and then to make our choices and our actions come from that place. And so in that way, we are engaging in and fully signing up for this deep connected way of living, which leads to our deepest hopes and our fulfilled dreams. So happy Mother's Day to you, and may you have an existential experience this week of connecting to that greater imaginal level that will guide you to your greater good and to your supremest dreams. God bless you. And so it's
She gave me life when it started. Mama stayed with me. She never parted. She held me close when I would cry. She'd wipe the tears from my little eyes. She understood my baby talk. My mama was right there when I started to walk. And I thank God. Oh, I thank God. I thank God for mama. Mama taught me right from wrong. Mama taught me my first song. Mama taught me how to share. She taught me my first prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Lord, I thank God. Oh, I thank God. for Mama. She taught me how to pray. She showed me the right way. I hope I'll see her in heaven some sweet day. She taught me how to pray. She showed me the right way. And I thank God for Mama. And I thank God, oh, I thank God for Mama. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
So it's time for our offering, and would our usher come forward? I just saw a beautiful photograph that Peter shared with me of his new granddaughter. She's just gorgeous, yeah. So congratulations, Peter. He's a grandfather. Can you believe that? Yeah. I have to send him home with a rose for the mother of that child. Okay, so we have a blessing that's in your program and on the screen. So together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I invite you to close your outer eyes if you so choose. And I know that God is all there is. That God is absolutely everywhere present. That divine presence, that spirit that innervates everything in the world, including outside the world. The whole universe is innervated and energized with that same spirit, that same wonderful love that is present in each and every person and each and every creature and absolutely everything. Knowing this truth, when I recognize that the conditions that as humans each one of us can have in the world, conditions which may have to do with a healing need of the physical, the psychological, even the spiritual. It may be a condition of seeming abundance or lack. And I know that each one of these conditions is changed fully when we accept what is true for the universe, which is that the presence is there always, waiting, allowing us to say, come on in, help me. And we believe and know that this is true. So my faith makes me whole. And I'm so grateful. Knowing all these truths, and I release this treatment into the universal law, where I know it is done. It is done, and it is so. And so it is.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dream that you dare to, oh why can I? Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of, oh, why can't I?
Wow. Thank you, Peter, and thank you all for being here. And have a great rest of your day and celebrate mothers. God bless you all. See you next week.